Okay, so you've seen all the headlines about AI, right? The breakthroughs, the billionaires. But there's a whole other story unfolding, kind of under the radar. It's this powerful, hidden, and get this, bipartisan grassroots movement that's taking on the entire AI industry. And it's happening in places you'd never expect.
And that right there, that's the question Virginia State Senator Danica Roem yelled to a cheering crowd. It just cuts through all the tech hype, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of this frustration that's been building and building, and it really sets the stage for a fight that's about so much more than just machines.
And the place where she said this? It wasn't some big political rally. Nope. It was a church. Inside, you had almost 200 people. Republicans, Democrats, farmers, people from the suburbs, all packed in together. And they were all there for one reason: to fight back against the physical side of AI.
So what exactly are they fighting against? I mean, this isn't some abstract debate about code. We're talking about massive, power-hungry buildings that make all this AI stuff possible. And these data centers, well, they've turned quiet neighborhoods into the front lines of a whole new kind of war.
When you dig into it, it really comes down to everyday life. People are seeing their electricity bills just soar, all to power these server farms. They're worried about the insane amounts of water they drink up, and they have to live with this constant humming noise 24/7. And on top of all that, they're frustrated with these shady deals cut with local officials, and they remember all those other tech projects that promised tons of jobs and then just didn't deliver.
You know, you might think this is just a couple of angry towns, but it's not. This local feeling actually mirrors what's happening across the entire country. A recent Pew poll found that for every one person excited about AI, there are 5 who are concerned. That's a massive gap.
And these worries go way deeper than just electricity bills. People are getting anxious about the very fabric of our society. Surveys are showing that people believe AI is going to damage our creativity, mess with our relationships, make misinformation even worse, and maybe even chip away at our basic sense of purpose.
So you've got this huge divide, and the physicist Max Tegmark, he actually put a name to it. He calls it a fundamental conflict of visions. This isn't just about policy anymore. It's become a battle for what kind of future we actually want to live in.
Tegmark had this light bulb moment after his organization put out a statement calling for a pause on developing superintelligent AI. He was just shocked by who signed it. We're talking military leaders, faith leaders, regular people, just this incredibly diverse group. And he realized, wow, they're all picking a side here. They're all rooting for Team Human.
So let's break it down. You've got these two competing stories. On one side, you have Team Machine. That's the tech industry's promise of this amazing, productive future with super helpful digital assistants. But then you've got Team Human. And the fear on that side is a pretty dark one. A future with mass job loss, kids addicted to chatbots, and just losing the things that make us human.
So let's actually put a face to this resistance. Who are the people really on the front lines of Team Human? Well, you'll see they come from all over the place. From politics, from the church, and even from Hollywood. So meet Francesca Hong. Definitely not your typical politician. She was a chef, a baker, a restaurant owner. The pandemic really pushed her into politics to fight for working folks. And now she's running for governor of Wisconsin. And you guessed it, one of the biggest issues people are talking to her about is data centers.
And Francesca does not mince words. She says voters are, quote, concerned and pissed off, and they've given her a very clear mission. Her goal isn't to just regulate these things, it's to make Wisconsin an actively hostile place for them to build.
And believe me, she's turning that anger into action. She's going after the secret deals and tax breaks. She's pointing to past disasters like that Foxconn factory that promised 13,000 jobs and delivered basically nothing before, surprise, it got turned into a data center. So now she's co-drafting a bill for a statewide moratorium, just stopping them completely.
But this resistance isn't just happening in politics, it's taking on a moral dimension too. Down in Austin, Texas, you have Pastor Michael Grayston, and he's using his pulpit to talk about what he sees as the spiritual damage AI can do.
See, Pastor Grayston thinks we're already in the middle of a loneliness epidemic, because of all the shallow online stuff. And he says AI is just pouring gasoline on that fire. He's really worried that young people are turning to chatbots for real moral guidance, skipping those tough but necessary conversations with family and friends, and just pushing us all further apart. Meanwhile, you've got a whole other battle brewing on the cultural front. In Hollywood, filmmaker and actor Justine Bateman is leading the charge.
For her, this is a fight to protect the very soul of art and creativity from being, well, automated. What's interesting is Bateman actually has a degree in computer science, so she gets the tech. She was a key advisor for the Screen Actors Guild, helping them get those new rules that say you need an actor's permission to use their digital double. And now she runs a film festival with one very simple, very strict rule: no AI at all.
Okay, so you've got all these people organizing. But is any of it actually working? Is it making a real difference? Well, let me just give you a number. $98 billion.
That's the value of all the data center projects that got stalled by activists in just one 3-month period last year. So yeah, Team Human isn't just making noise, they are landing some huge multi-billion-dollar punches.
Which brings us to the fight ahead. This grassroots movement has proven it has real power, and it's basically setting the stage for a massive political clash over the future of AI in America.
You can already see the battle lines for the midterms being drawn. On one side, Silicon Valley is getting ready to spend hundreds of millions to elect candidates who are pro-AI. But on the other, you've got political strategists from both parties warning that there's a serious backlash growing, and that any politician who sides with big tech against their own voters is going to pay a huge price.
And all of this leaves us with one final huge question. As this technology continues to just barrel ahead and change everything, who gets to decide how it's done? Is it the small group of people who create it, or is it the communities that have to live with the consequences every single day? The answer to that? Well, it's still being written.